Sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the support and love you all showing me here with. I am grateful. Do not forget to smash the thumb up and subscribe. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a video that is going round about Asian Americans and Latinos. Asian Americans first, then she included Latinos. She was like, black people have always included Latinos and Asians into what we do, especially the civil rights movement, which I also saw. So Asian Americans and Latinos, they always sit back and think that black people need them for a change. Why black people do not need you all for any change? And that is the reality, right? For whatever they are doing, they do it because it is right, not because they want you all to come out eventually to assist them and all that, right? Why is it that every community is always targeting black people? And then if you look around what is going on, how Israel, also the Jews, are always like the way they are also targeting black youth. Why? Because they know how powerful the influence black people have on earth, not even just African. They know the power black people have on earth. That's why they are also looking for a way to get into black people and let black people support them too. So let me say this. If you all keep doing things like this, you all are not trying to get black people. You all are doing yourselves. Let's get into this video.
You know what's so hilarious about this Asian affirmative action backfiring? Is they're quite literally going to do it again. They're going to do it again and again and again. It's not the first time it's happened to them. Not only that, black people have always included Asian and Latinos in whatever we have to do, because I genuinely believe that they think in their minds that we include them in our plans for the future because they think we need them. No, we have never needed y'all. And that's the most insane part of all of this. We have never needed y'all in order to make change happen. Huh? Civil rights movement. Literally any movement that came before that. We have always been able to push the line with our voices alone. You get what I'm saying? Why do you think Israel is trying to attack the black youth community? Because we are quite literally the most dangerous people on the face of this earth. We can move mountains with our voice alone. And it don't take much of us. We have the power to influence everybody on this earth. And we know for a fact that when we talk, everybody's going to stop and listen. No matter what we do, they're going to stop and watch. They're going to pay attention. You get what I'm saying? We have graciously always included y'all in with us because we see how they treat y'all. We see how they set y'all up for failure and how y'all go sliding, slipping and sliding, right? Hands on your hands and knees, begging to be a part of what they got over there, not even realizing that what they got over there is a tactical plan to steal from us. What they got over there, we already got, is what we're trying to tell you, babe. And we're trying to protect what we got. And we see them looking at y'all saying, hey, we kind of want some of that too. And we said, psst, don't you let them take your shit away from you. If you let them, they gonna take your shit away from you. And what do Asians and Latinos do every single time? They never listen to us. And I would say in the past decade, we finally, as a black collective, got to the point where we said, okay. Because we already knew how this shit was going to end. We already knew what was finna happen. Do you know who was at the height of that Asian hate during the pandemic? I'll tell you who was. Matter of fact, I'll tell you who it wasn't. There may have been some cases, but guess who put the battery in the back of the confused? Exactly. And every single time black people try to include Asian and Latinos in, y'all never fucking listen. Y'all never listen. We be seeing the future written on the walls. We be trying to tell y'all. And out of anybody that you should listen to, it should 110% be black people. You want to know why? Because they've done us in the worst way. And we've done nothing else but try to protect y'all. Try to help y'all. Try to help guide y'all. And every single time, not only do y'all bite the hand that feeds you and protects you, you go running right on back to the people that's happily oppressing you. The people that got in their planes, packed them planes up, went over to Asia, Vietnam, Taiwan, went over to North and South Korea, started terrorizing shit. We be trying to help y'all remember. Huh? And y'all just destroyed the future of decades. Decades of your own. Y'all be so filled with hatred and trying to feel like you are better than black people. Trying to feel like life is a competition. Not even realizing that the ones that was trying to collaborate with you actually are smarter than you. Because we see them for who the fuck they really are. We look them dead in their face and let them know we're not terrified of you. We're not scared of you. You can try, but we're going to keep coming back in numbers. We are the only race that will look them dead in their face and say, try it. Go ahead. Do what you got to do, my love. But if I got to die, I'm going to take a few of you motherfuckers with me. We all going. And y'all literally sat up there loudly and proudly voted against your own generational wealth. Woo! Boy. When I tell you that Asian Americans are going to do it again, I'll give you a prime example. Crystal from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Crystal came on that show. The first person to step up and defend Crystal was who? Garcelle. A black American woman. Garcelle tried to warn Crystal. Don't you get too close to Kyle. Don't you get too close to Dorit. Don't you get too close to that woman. Stay objective. You can be kind. You can be cordial. You can do, but you make sure you keep your eyes on the prize. You don't let those women get too close to you, because if you do, they will use every opportunity to undercut you. And what did they do? The minute she started talking about the troubling things that Sutton was saying, they started throwing rocks. And when they were called out by everybody, I'm talking Kyle, Dorit, the whole Caucasian clan on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We watched this shit real time. Garcelle damn near went to her grave, her Crystal's first season on that show, trying to protect Crystal. Crystal then turned around after having a battery put in her back by Kyle herself. Turned around, turned her guns on Garcelle. Garcelle said, that's all right. You know what? I'm going to back off. Don't even worry about it. They get to the reunion, and Crystal got a first eye view of how those exact same women turned on her ass behind her back. And Garcelle sat there and said, bitch, I told you. I motherfucking told you. What is Crystal doing this season? Kyle threw her a big extravagant party. And from the second I saw that shit, I said, them bitches ain't slick. I know exactly what they doing. They throwing her a party to cover up for the foolishness that they did last season. They want that girl in such a trance that she don't remember the shit that they put her through. Either way, it's filmed. But let that be a prime example of the bullshit y'all put yourself through. Let the affirmative action that you dismantled, that black people made sure they not only set up for us, they set that shit up for you. We set it up for you and your kin for generations to come. Made sure that you and your motherfuckers had shit for the generations to come. that if we was going to the top, we was taking Asians, Latinas, and anybody else who's been systematically oppressed with us, because that shit ain't fair. And what the fuck y'all do? Y'all not only fucked it up for yourselves, but you fucked it up for everybody else. Destroyed your own generational wealth. God damn it. If that ain't karma coming back around to whoop you in your ass, I don't know what is. We gonna find a way up out of this situation, because baby, we always do. Look at the stats. You ain't got to question if black people gonna make it up out of this situation. We always gonna make it up out of some shit. You need to take a good look at yourself and wonder why you feel so pressured. Why you feel so happy to slide your Asian ass up between the cheeks of a Caucasian person and trust every single thing that they say to you. Y'all don't even question the shit that they do. Y'all just go right along with it. I think that's the most hilarious part of this situation, because not only are y'all not going to learn from this shit, y'all going to do it again and again and again and again and again. Y'all are quite literally undoing your own success. Y'all own people came over here looking for the American dream, worked for years and years and decades to build the shit that y'all just dismantled in one single move. Congratulations, Asian America.
I've been thinking about talking about the conversation when it relates to affirmative action, as that has become a broader conversation yet again. And all I can think about was that how I went to a middle school and high school that was lottery based. You had to apply to get into the school, but it was still a public school. It's a little weird. No, I don't know the best way to explain it, but there was public funding, things like that. And 75% of all admitted students were from Title I schools, which are schools that are lower performing schools, but you still had to do well in school. And something that I think about and the other 25 were from non-Title I schools. And something that I think about often when I look at this conversation that we're having about affirmative action is that the school I went to was heavily focused on getting people into college. I believe the statistics, from my understanding, have never dropped below 90% of the students in each given graduating class getting into a four-year institution. So the overwhelming majority of students got into a four-year institution of some kind somewhere. And something that I have continued to think about in this ongoing conversation about affirmative action was that even in the school that I went to, even in that space, we were all heavily competitive individuals. Mind you, people who came from all kinds of backgrounds were all competing with each other. I had peers who had parents who were doctors and lawyers and all these different types of things. And then at the same time, I had peers who had parents and who were undocumented, who worked construction or worked in other forms of manual labor. And I look at the conversation that is surrounding affirmative action, and I just think about the fact that it's bullshit. It is literally bullshit. When you actually supply students with the tools to succeed, when you actually, and I mean you get down to the nitty gritty with students who are coming from backgrounds where they would not necessarily have these resources, and you are actually actively implementing tools to help them succeed, and not only just specifically them, but all of their peers are getting access to the same types of tools that are allowing students to succeed. It completely blocks out a lot of the struggles that students had to go through. Now, don't get me wrong, the entire time I was a high school student, I was working. Many of my peers were also working. We were trying to either support ourselves, help support our families, and different things like that. But a lot of us still had family that were very adamant that we attend and graduate from college. And that was the whole basis of the school as well. Now seeing all of these, particularly Asian American students who are coming out to say things like, oh, I applied to all these schools and I didn't get in. It's because of affirmative action, and now seeing affirmative action going away and still seeing that a large majority of Asian American students are not getting into institutions that they theoretically should be able to get into based off of their grades. And so I say to all of these people who have chosen to continuously try to blame Black people as an entire group as to the failings of why you are not getting into these schools. Mind you, sitting here as a Black person, didn't get into a lot of the top schools I wanted to go to, but sucked it the fuck up and still went to college. What is it? because it just has, at this point, it just has to be racism. Now people are finally starting to point out and have the conversation about legacy and admits after affirmative action was taken away. When the vast majority of black students who are getting into the vast majority of these schools that are so elite that nobody can imagine that black people are getting into these places are students who are not only maintaining these perfect grades, there are also students who are oftentimes getting these perfect test scores, not me though, because fuck testing. And on top of that, they are oftentimes students who are also working to support their families. They are oftentimes students who are in multiple extracurricular activities to help support their families. These are often students who are running businesses. These are oftentimes students who are going above and beyond what can be expected of a student to still succeed and succeeding. So again, I have to say, maybe you just aren't working hard enough. And maybe that fucking sucks to hear. But if you are not getting into these top schools and you are doing everything in your capabilities to get to these top schools and you're still not able to, maybe you need to be having a conversation about what these accepted classes look like. How the vast majority of these classes are made up of students who are legacy admits. The vast majority of these classes are made up of athletes that don't even have half of the GPA you have. So maybe in wanting to villainize black people as this big boogeyman that is stopping you from getting into these institutions, maybe for once you should fucking take that brain that seems to be working so fucking hard that it's getting you all these great grades and look at the fact that the vast majority of these classes are not even made up of the students that you are saying are the ones that are stealing your spots. Anti-blackness is so rampant amongst so many of you, and so many of you don't even know how fucking racist you are, because the only fucking thing you can conceptualize is that if there is a black person there, they obviously don't deserve to be there. Instead of just acknowledging the fact that black people, to even reach the vast majority of these positions, have had to sacrifice so much of their fucking lives and who they are to then find themselves stuck in these predominantly spaces that still fucking will do everything in their power to try to exclude us. Yet we still seem to manage to come out on top. You know? Maybe y'all should work a little fucking harder. I don't know.
This is the article from LA Times. Post-affirmative action, Asian American families are more stressed out than ever about college admissions. So I'm going to start off by saying this. When in the hell are y'all going to start listening to us? When? Because we tried. Black people tried to tell y'all that y'all fighting against affirmative action was not going to work in your favor. We tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell you. And now look, y'all stressed, depressed, and looking a goddamn mess. And the problem isn't that y'all for affirmative action. The true problem is with a lot of Asian American families is y'all think y'all skin tone correlates to your proximity to whiteness. That's what y'all think. Y'all think regardless if y'all Asian, regardless of what culture and ethnicity you are, your skin tone is what gets you to the same standards as a white person. And y'all are learning very swiftly that that's not the damn case. When we tried to warn y'all about this, y'all bashed us. Y'all told us we was playing victim. Y'all told us we need to mind our business. And y'all tried to gaslight us into saying that this benefited black people and how it was unfair and how black people shouldn't get special privileges. And now look at y'all. Y'all asses is mad because what? Y'all not getting special privileges? Because the same things we tried to tell y'all. It don't matter how many honors, AP classes y'all take. It don't matter how many credits you have. It doesn't matter how well your dissertation has been written. It does not matter how well your college essay was written. It does not matter if all your teachers had nothing but beautiful letters of recommendation for you. It does not matter because you're not white. We tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell you. At every instance, whether it's education, whether it's equal rights, women's rights, race rights, we try to tell y'all. And every goddamn time. Y'all gaslight us just for y'all to be proven wrong and prove us right. So my real question to the Asian American families and communities, when the hell are y'all going to start listening to us? Because y'all need to realize here in America, your fair skin does not mean you're white. Your fair skin does not give you white privileges. And at the end of the day, in America, it don't matter how fair skinned you are.
Hi, fellow Asian Americans. Are you happy that you struck down affirmative action, which you thought was the reason why your kids or you yourself aren't getting into those top schools in America? Because it kind of looks like it's not helping that you struck it down. Because all it did was give the opportunity for more white legacy students to be enrolled and admitted to these top schools that you wanted your kids to go to. And it only hurt like the black students that wanted to get into these schools and the Hispanic/Latin Americans that also applied to these schools. And this article shows that, your lawsuit against affirmative action did not help Asian Americans at all. It actually made it worse. Hi, fellow Asian Americans. Are you happy that you struck down?
Well, this happened last year, I believe, but the results of this have come back quickly. So the Asian community jumped on board with a whole bunch of white supremacists and said, we want to get rid of affirmative action. Because the white supremacists said the reason why you're not getting in is because now black people have to get in, right? So a lot of those in the Asian community said, we want those spots for ourselves, so let's get rid of affirmative action. Okay? Because we need to get back into these schools, damn black people, right? Like, listen to what these folks are telling you. We're only allowing a certain number of people of color in our schools. If that ain't the reason why you need affirmative action, I don't know what to tell you. So now they have removed affirmative action. Nobody of Asian descent is getting into these schools any more than before. And all they've done is put it back in place where legacy white kids can get into these programs. This misunderstanding of what affirmative action is so crazy to me. Affirmative action is not saying just pick up any old black person on the street and put them in school. What it's saying is you have 20 spots, you got to give at least one of them to a black person. You got to give at least one of them to a woman. You got to give one of them to somebody that's disabled. You got to give at least one of them to somebody that's Asian. And these people that they're giving these spots to have had to earn the spot just like everybody else. With grades, with volunteer work, with time, with accomplishments. They're not just picking up anybody off of the street. These folks literally told you we are only letting a certain number of people of color in our schools. And you did not pick up on the racism in that statement, which is so crazy to me. They said we don't want too many of y'all here. And you thought it was going to work out for you? That's crazy. That's crazy.
So legitimately, y'all have been in my comments going crazy over the article in regards to Asian American kids being stressed out now that it is discovered that they will be discriminated against. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just laughing because I can't believe of all the videos that y'all want to talk about right now, this is the one. But I will say that not everybody got it wrong. What do you mean? Well, while perusing, I found this video. The youth, I think it's really up to y'all. Because if you check out my last video, I want you to notice the difference between how the youth are responding versus the older generation. And I'm the older generation. And so I will throw myself under the bus. We need to get it together. But this person, she got it right.
Oh my god, I love this lip gloss color. Yeah, that's not really the way you think it is, Vivian. Affirmative action helps a lot of Black, Brown, and Indigenous students. It's not as simple as that, and you're not looking at the bigger picture. maybe instead of celebrating, we should do more research on systemic racism and the way it permeates throughout our entire higher education system. Anyways, what are you wearing to the club tonight?
And so while I fully respect this conversation and all the forms that we're having it, whether it be through research articles or personal dialogue, one of the things that seems to be getting lost, and this is where I need to know if you made it this far. Because if you made it this far, I need you to leave me a comment. What's missing from this conversation that so many Asian Americans are trying to come at me for is the fact that I'm also Asian, which is not a surprise for me, because all my life, they've only seen me as a black person. They completely ignored me as also an Asian American. And so the reality is phenotype plays a major part in this. And so when we talk about racism on multiple levels, please understand that, again, within your own community, you are committing what I would consider discriminatory practices. So when I speak up on behalf of black people, understand it is not to demonize Asians, but it's to call you out because I'm also an Asian. Please let me know you made it this far.
So this is all I got from this video, and what the first lady said is all truth, and it's quite unfortunate. Unfortunately, these people do not really care about black people, and number one is that they actually think or feel that black people need them. Black people do not need you people, sincerely speaking. And for that reason, most times they do what they do because they want to probably get to or trigger black people or tell black people that we are better than you people. And then when I look at them, how are you people better than black people? I have seen so many Asians on TikTok saying that they are white. I mean, they say it without even hiding. They say they are white and they all act white. Black people should know their places. If you all remember, there were some videos that I did sometime. So many ladies coming out to say that probably they were born here, they were born in America, they were raised in America, and they have white friends. And you see them acting all white and telling black people that, we are not the same because they have already bought into white supremacy. And then I keep saying this, your whiteness, your skin color is not so white. I don't know if you understand what I am saying. A white person will still know that you are not white. The same way they tell black people you are not white. And they are not going to treat you any better because your skin color is a bit lighter than black people. They treat you the same way they treat a black person. So there is no difference. They see you all as the same. And it is high time these people really learn to understand that they are being used. And it's quite really, they did not even know all this, that they are being used. Not until this very moment that they found out that all they did was not just against black people, but because their intention was to do it against black people, right? But it backfired so quick. It's been just a few months. They started dragging this affirmative action, that they wrote petitions and all that. It hasn't been long. So the result of their karma really came so quick, if you understand what I am saying. And this first lady, I really she really nailed it for me, because it is awesome how Asians and Latinos think that they are better than black people, probably because their skin color is a bit lighter and all that. But black people have always included Asians, Latinos in most things they do. And it is you all know how accepting black people are. I don't know, but it runs in their blood. They are very accepting. They are so easy to fight for anybody, even and they tell you that whatever we do for other people is not transactional. We probably do it because that is the right thing to do. They are not doing it because they are going to get you back. You are going to come back to them to assist them during their own time. I have seen so many things happening. all of them will go around and vote against their own interests, just like what happened in Florida when they voted their own interest. The majority of people that voted for Ron DeSantis was Latinos and all that. And then when the result of the votes they did started haunting them, they started calling black people that they were voting against. They started calling black people to come and assist them. So what do we call this? It's insane. Black people do not need you all to make change happen. They are literally like the face of change. When they want to make change, they scream about it, they shout about it, and they get the change they want. But then you all always turn around to say that it is not in your culture to scream. It is not in your culture to be loud. It is not in your culture to speak out, right? Because that was the excuses they give, that it is not in their culture to speak out. So it is in black people's culture to speak out. You all haven't seen anything yet. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.